Hi Floss Tube, it's Diane. I thought I'd do a monthly video. I'm fighting a cold. Well, I'm at that tail end that it just lingers and lingers, yeah. So I'll probably be drinking my water a lot, but it doesn't hurt. Nothing hurts. It's just sounds weird. So today is August 30th. It is the 11th birthday of one of my sons. Yeah, 11 years ago tonight, he wanted to come in the world sideways. Yeah, 4 weeks early. And so he was my first cesarean. He still was born feet first. Yeah, that's... Someone asked me when I said, yeah, I tried to come in the world sideways. They said, is that his personality? I'm like, oh yeah, that is definitely his personality. He just does things his own way. But I thought I'd do some life updates. If I have my act together, you saw a picture of my Marine in his dress blues. You know what? I have his picture right there. I'm gonna grab it. Just hold on. It took forever for these to arrive. Oh man, I'm like, okay, he graduated in April. But it finally arrived. Okay, my son is 6'4" and a little more. Dress blues. Striking. And yes, Lucretia, those are his real eyelashes. So yeah, pretty proud of him. He's not in the fleet yet. He's still in training. You know, you graduate boot camp, and then they start, depending on where you're going in the Marine Corps, they really start your training. So the time between boot camp and going to the fleet can vary greatly. And he's had a couple injuries. He pulled a muscle, and he's trying to do all this swimming. I think I said I've redone this several times. I'm fighting a cold. I'm at the tail end and it's just never leaving me. My kids, not all my kids yet, because I just forget about it, but he took Red Cross swimming, but in the Marine Corps, because of different situations that they have to train in regarding swimming, how they do the strokes is a little different. So he actually ended up injuring himself, pulling a muscle, and had to be on light duty for a while. And then he actually re-injured it because it's been really hot where he's at, and he became dehydrated and it cramped up, and it wasn't as severely injured as the first time. So he's frustrated with himself, but I mean, he said, I passed all, I think there's 8 things he has to do, and he passed 7 of them. And the one he was working on when he cramped up was he has to swim 36 laps in the pool. I can't swim. So I'm sitting thinking, oh my word, I could never do that. So yeah, he's hoping to be able to go on to the next training sooner than later, but kind of December Gumby, hurry up and wait. Sorry. Not in any pain, it's just that nagging dry cough. My mom, I'm gonna try at the beginning of here to put a picture, maybe 2 pictures of my mom. She's holding an angel, framed angel, and she's holding, or she's standing next to a mountain man. That one I'm not sure if I still have the picture. Those 2 pieces are pieces that she's cross-stitched. And the angel is called Celestial Angel, and I think it's a Dimensions kit, I'm not sure. And the mountain man was a pattern we made from a picture, so that one's not available. But she stitched both of those, and I wanted to show off her stitching. Speaking of my mom, she had her surgery for her breast cancer July 10th, and they sent off all of the tissue samples and blood work and, you know, whatever else they do. she found out on August 1st that she does not need chemotherapy for her cancer. I remember that because August 2nd is her birthday, so it was a really, really good birthday gift. She still did the radiation a couple weeks ago. She had to go in twice a day for 5 days. Going to the doctor twice in a day is exhausting in itself, but if they actually have to do something, I can't even begin to imagine. So she's been pretty tired. She has to take it really easy for the next few weeks until like the incision for the radiation thing heals. So, but she's still been stitching and resting and stitching and resting, and we're trying to figure out when we can go out and see her. Because I want to go see her to support her, but I also don't want to wear her out so that she gets sick. And we've been fighting a cold. I don't want to pass that on to her at all. So, yeah, hopefully soon we can go see her. But I wanted to put those pictures in because she's a stitcher too, and we like to encourage stitchers. So sorry. What have I been stitching? Well, I started July with Rose Celebration, and I didn't show it when I did my driving school videos. And that's this piece here. It's a pretty piece. She does not fit in a fat quarter on 32 count because she's so long. She's not extremely wide, but she's long. Some of Nora's designs tend to do that, where they're narrow, but they're really long. And so, sorry, a message just came up on my phone. I did start it. The one thing about it is some designs I tend to start toward the middle, and this design's a little harder to pick a starting point. So I started kind of these sashes here. That's where I started it. And I'm stitching on 32 count Belfast. I really like stitching on Belfast. I know some people don't, and that's fine. That's fine. I like Lugana and I like Joblin too. I just Belfast is kind of my thing. And it's 32 count. It's hand dyed by Stephanie, Autumn Splendor. And here's where I was able to get to. These colors are going to just be beautiful on this fabric. Yeah, these are the colors. Aren't those pretty? And on this fabric, yeah, they're just gonna pop. But with the busyness of my July, I just needed another project that didn't have so many colors, and she's a little more confetti heavy. I bought a fat half of this and then cut it down is what I did. She's a little more confetti, and in projects, sometimes it takes a little bit to get into the project, you know what I mean? And I just hadn't reached that stride with her yet. So I picked another piece to work on. I thought I was organized and I'm not. Sorry. Anemone, Nora Corbett. I showed this during driving school videos. This is stitched on 28 count. I said Murano, but it's Monaco by Fiberlicious, called Caramel Brulee, and she is finished. She's a finish. Going closer here so you can see. I originally bought this fabric for this piece, and then when it arrived, I thought, oh, it's too red. I was going to use it, but I pulled the fibers, and I'm glad I chose this fabric for this project. She does not have that many beads. Sorry. The beads that she has are like on her neckline of her bodice here, and on the edges of her wings, and the tips. Sorry, I keep getting messages from doing, and on some of the tips on some of these petals on her skirt, and that's it. Oh, and the antennae. So she just doesn't have that many beads, but I love the colors in this. And stitch count wise for Stitch from Stash, we're 17. She did have beads, no Krennic, no specialty stitches, so I added 10%, so 1870 for her. But I did make a change. Now I love this color fabric, and I seriously thought of just outlining the skin and just using the fabric as her skin tone, but I am glad I chose to stitch the colors charted, because I do pop on this. But the hands on the original don't have the fingers differentiated, and I realize why. One reason that is because if you actually chart that area, it would be hard to kind of see, do you have to do quarter stitches or not quarter stitches, and it would be hard. So I just added my own lines here. It took a little trial and error, but I used the same color that you outline the arms in, and I didn't stop the back stitching at the corner of a stitch. Some of them because this is a even weave, you have 9 holes per stitch, so sometimes I put the thread down, but it wasn't on the corner of the stitch. I hope that makes sense. To get the right look on the fingers on this hand, and then over here on this one. But it took a little trial and error till I got what I wanted, and I'm glad I did that. I think it looks good, and I just love this blue. This I think it's 995. It is just beautiful. It's beautiful blue. She doesn't have a lot of beads, like I said before, so I'm thinking of fully finishing her outside of a frame, flat fold, mounted on a board, something. But I haven't even looked. But she is finished. And she has blocks of color. I did not think she would stitch up as fast as she did. But yeah, I really like her. So now I gotta, well, who am I kidding? She's gonna go in my box. Oh, my other things that should be finished. And then for I did the event in the group, in the sorry, cross stitch finish line group. There we go. The guess what Sal. And the first day was 7 days. Day 1, you were to show your fabric, and you were not supposed to tell. You could tell what type of fabric it was, but you weren't supposed to say it's for this project. So here's my fabric. This is 32 count Lugana orange clementine. It is a Zweigart. It has the orange thread through the selvage, which until I started watching FlossTube, I never understood. Why is that orange? And I've been cross stitching for over 25 years now. So you learn things on FlossTube. Second day, showed your fiber. Here's the fiber I chose. Caring Collection Wildflowers. This is Black Forest. Browns, kind of gray blue hints. It's slightly variegated. And Water Lilies is silk. Wild Flowers is cotton. You use it just as it comes off the skein. And then day 3, 4, 5, 6. You were supposed to do 25 stitches a day. So at the end, you had at least 100 stitches. I have more than 100 stitches. So what I did is I'd stitch 25 stitches and take a picture and then post that on the day, and then 25 and so forth. But I do have more than 100 stitches in the project. And this is the project. Tribal Wolf Silhouette, Charting Creations. Stitching this for my husband. And I told him, I said, yeah, dear, it just takes one fiber. And he goes, the wolves aren't just one color. He was just trying to be honoring. I said, well, good thing I chose a variegated floss. And here is where I was able to get to in that time frame. In one of the groups that Terry, Stitching Petunia, moderates, I can't remember if it's Finish Line or Stitching Station. Next year, 2018, is going to have a Charting Creation Silhouette year-long salve. That's the piece I'm going to do. I know where I want to hang it on the wall, so I want to get that done. And her charts are really nice to read. Really nice to read. Siren Song Mermaid. She is in, I have 8 goals for 2017 and she is one of them. She stitched on 32 count Belfast. Serene by Picture This Plus. And I literally put the last bead in. And I had to go back and put a few stitches in because I found some that I missed. But she's finished. And let's just say where Anemone doesn't have a lot of beads, she makes up for it. Because look at her hair. And her bodice. This is all beads here, people, all down the center of her tail. All the way down, and then down here at the bottom of her tail, you see all those beads? Yeah, and then these little tendril thingies. Yeah. But she's done. And she's bigger than I thought she would be, as in, I thought she'd be a little more round, curved. But she's longer than I thought she would be. So I'm thinking something oval shape would be cute, or I don't know. She's screaming that she needs something a little more unique than just a rectangular frame. I don't know if it'd be the color of the frame or matting, I don't know. But yeah, now, can I say, whoever does the symbols, there are 5 beads in this particular project. One symbol is a filled in square. Okay, not a problem. The next symbol, circle. The next symbol, circle the dot. The next circle is the circle with the cross. And then, oh, and number 5 is like this outline of a house that's hollow. So if you quick glance down at your pattern, they all look like they're circles. Oh, like, really? Is that, okay, is that the cross one, or is that the one with the dot? Is that the empty circle, or is that the empty house? Because I did this whole tendril thingy here, and I looked at it and I thought, you know, that doesn't look right. Sure enough, I had grabbed the orange beads that are here in the center. So this was all orange and it's supposed to be this red. So I had to take it all out and put the red back in. Because this is the hollow circle. I just know this because I just finished this project last night. The orange is the hollow circle. The red is the circle with the dot in the middle. And it's not a huge dot. It's just like this little dot. And these yellows are the hollow house ones. Now these big ones here are the circle with the cross, and then these dark beads are the filled in squares. And this is the pattern that had the stitching has a capital S and a number 5. Just think about that. You glance down at your sheet. Can you really think of a printed capital S and a printed number 5? A quick glance down at your sheet, they're going to look alike. So I chose the wrong color, of course. Now the 5s are only used up here, or one of the colors is only used in the hair and one of the colors is only used in the tail, which is better than if they were both used in the same area. But still, that's just frustrating. And I'm sort of thinking, okay, you only had 5 beads. Why don't you do numbers for beads? Because there are numbers for some of the other stuff. Numbers for beads and symbols for stitching, but not the letter S if you're going to use a number 5. Yeah. I do have to put my initials. I didn't sign it yet, and I didn't sign anemone yet either. So I do need to put my initials, and I like to kind of hide my initials. Some people, and there's nothing wrong if you want to just have your signature there. Nothing wrong. I like to hide it in my design, so I'll probably put it down here in the tail. And then these endless ribbons. They weren't hard, but okay, you have 5 of this color, 6 of that color, 5 of this color. Yeah. And the metallic, if you could see that it has that metallic, there it is, a little shimmer. It's supposed to be acrylic, and I thought I had it when I picked up the beads, and I did not. But I looked through my stash, and I don't know what project I bought this for, but I had from Rainbow Gallery Nordic Gold, and this is ND6, and it says it's easy to use, and I do think it is easy to use. Stronger than blending filament, I agree, and cross stitch up to 18 count. Well, a 32 count is the equivalent of 16 count in Ada, so I knew that this would work, or should work, and so I tested it on a corner and I really liked it. This is different than Krennic or Petite Treasure braid in that Petite Treasure braid and Krennic, they seem to be braided around like a central thread. This, how it's made, or how it looks when you look closely at the braid, it reminds me of those keychains we made in summer camp with that plastic cording, just kind of how it loops around. And the trick to using all metallics, in my opinion, first of all, once you use a needle for metallic, it's a metallic needle until you throw it away. Do not put DMC or any other fiber in there, because the little bit of metal that's actually in here is going to put burrs in the eye of your needle. I'd also, if you use invisible thread, don't put another type of fiber, because that invisible thread's kind of fishing line a little bit, and it actually can put little burrs in your needle, and you can't see it with your naked eye, but it will fray your DMC. I found that out the hard way. So once a needle is metallic for me, I have a little tube. Did I bring my little tube in? I thought I did. I must not have brought my little tube in. Oh, give me a minute here. Okay. I purchased these at my L&S. They look like little test tubes. And I have 2 of them. So this one I just wrote with a Sharpie. It says metallic. So these needles were used on metallic. So until they tarnish and I need to throw them away, that's all I will use them for, is metallics only. And I also have a little tube for beading needles. So these are plastic tubes, so I can throw them in my bag and not worry about them breaking. But it works really well. Anyway, the trick to using fiber like this or other metallics is you want to do shorter lengths than you may typically use in your DMC. And when you usually do metallics just one strand, unless your directions on your project tell you otherwise. But number 4 braid, petite treasure braid, this braid, you only want to use one strand. Again, unless your project tells you otherwise. So you have it go through your needle. Well, that tail that's not used on your needle, you want that to be just a shade longer, and then when you weave it in the back, leave a longer tail. So when I weave mine in the back, I may go under like 4 stitches. But when I was using this, I would have like ½ an inch stick out, weave it under those 4 stitches, and then start stitching. You can go back later and trim those little tails, but when you're using it, you want just a little bit longer tail with metallics. Otherwise, metallics are just great to stitch on, and I really liked the look of this Nordic Gold. I don't know, I know that Rainbow Gallery was getting rid of some types of fiber. I don't know if this one is one of them. I liked it. It's the only one I have, but I liked it. And I think it looks good in this project. Now she, stitch-wise, is 20, but again, she makes up for the beading. She has metallic in her, so I'm giving myself credit for 25 on this for Stitch from Stash. Which, yeah. And I had purchased a whole fat quarter, so I had to figure out what I'm going to put there. And I'll cut it down, the fabric and stuff, when I'm ready to do that part. I have to press it. I have to give her a good pressing too. So two definite finishes, and I'm almost, okay, it's the 30th, so I've got another day and a half to get one more finish so I can count it in my Stitch from Stash. And yes, I do need to count it for my Stitch from Stash, so my total for Stitch from Stash isn't too much in the red. But the ladies I met at the Mirabilia Retreat in 2016, we did a round robin, and so I received my piece back, and so here it is. It is not done yet because I asked them to not do the beading. I'm kind of picky on how my beads are. I guess I am. But also, beading and traveling and going from house to house, I was kind of concerned on how that would happen. And as it is, when it's come back to me, there are a couple stitches that decided to misbehave that I have to fix. But I'm really glad to have this back, and so I've been putting all the beads in, and I have the beads in all but the center box. Her beads, I have about half the beads to go, and then I need to put everybody's name on here, and then just like this one had just a little stitch that just didn't want to behave, so I have to just fix that. But other than that, I hope to have this done by tomorrow night, so then this will count. Now, because I didn't do all the stitching on this, I asked Stephanie about it, but I did all the beading, so I am going to count 20 for this. I did all the stitching here, and I stitched all the boxes before it was sent off, and then when it came back, I've done all the beading. There's Krennic in most of the boxes, beading in every box, although like here there's just these big beads. So I've done all the beading, so we kind of figured out with the finishing grid in the group and stuff that would be fair, because I didn't stitch everything, and that's fine. I was just not sure how to count it. But I stitched all this, and I stitched all the squares before it was sent off, and someone asked where they could find this layout. We came up with our own layout, and this big square here is 135 by 30? No, 35 by, I think it's 35 by 135 or 120. I have to look at I marked it on my pattern so I can count it on my pattern. And these squares are 35 by 35. Well, technically they're 37 by 37, so you have 35 by 35. And then these are 20 by 25. So I asked them to do I knew which patterns I wanted done, and so in the medium squares they did the faces, and all I asked, I didn't say you have to do this face, but I just said can the faces all face the center, and they could do them whatever order. Except obviously the last person, they had whatever pattern was left over. And then I sent my patterns along, so when they made copies, then they gave me the copies, the working copies, and they made little notes on it and stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, when I fully finish this, I want to include those in there somehow. But we have geranium, orchid, wisteria, bluebell, water lily, and the other one is holly, and in the center is morning glory. So morning glory is what I'm working on now, and that's mine. So we have geranium. This is the dress. So in the small areas, I said just take a design element from one of the patterns. It didn't even have to be the design. You know, if they stitched geranium, they didn't have to take the design element from it. If they didn't want to, they could take another one. It was up to them. But geranium, this is from orchid. It's kind of where her skirt, layers of her skirts meet. This is water lily. Does water lily have her hands up? And then wisteria is the other way. Yeah. Yeah. This is water lily. And this is also water lily. She has kind of that little splash of water coming up behind her. Bluebell. I'm sorry, that's wisteria. Wisteria and wisteria's foot. Orchid. Bluebell's waist and dress, and this is bluebell. Geranium, holly, and holly berries, and then morning glory in the center. So I will, when I have it done, I'll do kind of a quick video and really focus on each square. The boxes are stitched in Krennic number 034. I heard that is discontinued. I don't know why. It's really pretty. It's called Confetti. And the fabric is 28 count cashel. It's green. I'm sorry, I lost the label. I can't tell you much more than that. But I just need to finish those beads on Morning Glory. And then there are a couple of those stitches that, for whatever reason, decided that they didn't want to. We all have those stitches in our projects. Yeah, I don't know why they do it, but they do it. Excuse me. I need to take a sip of water here. So I should have that done by the 31st, and then I can turn in my total, which I'm going to be in the red, I will admit. I'm going to be a little bit in the red, not too bad. Let me show what I received for my birthday. If you didn't watch the driving school videos, my friends got together, the ones who did the round robin, fudgy mint mousse, and tiramisu. I really want to start this one. I don't have fabric for it though. I have the fibers and the beads, but not the fabric. And this one I have the fiber, most of the fibers. There's one special fiber, I guess. It's exclusive, and you have to get it from Glen & Place, but I don't have the fabric for this one. So those, I need to start those in 2018. I just need to start them. In Baked Alaska, I have fabric, but I don't have fibers. And Flowers of the Holy Night, also by Glen & Place, I have fabric, but not fibers. So next year is going to be a Glen & Place year. So what did I do to myself to make myself go into the red? Oh, here's Anemone. I didn't realize I still had her. For my birthday, my husband did not realize it. Oh, how does the Dowager say it? He's a man. He doesn't have the right to know. Love Maggie Smith. Love Maggie Smith. So, Fabrics by LJ had some fabrics, and on your birthday you can have a special discount. Here's one. This is 28 count linen, and it's called Turbulent Waters. Isn't that pretty? It's a fat quarter. It's not Belfast, but I'm not sure the linen, but I love his fabrics. And this is the other one. This is 32 count. 32 count. Is this Lugana? Yes, this is Lugana. It's called Pink Grapes. I think that's so pretty. And I keep going back and forth on what I'm going to put on these, but that was part of my birthday gift from my hubby. And then, did I show these? I've shown those in the past. I think I was reorganizing and moved stuff around. Right before Stitch from Stash started, when I bought the orange fabric, that's where I got that from my L&S. I've also bought Marigold and Ophelia's Pearl. She might be going on that Serene, the Siren Song, and then have her on the other side. I think they have similar colors. Anyway, oh, this is what my husband bought me for my birthday. A Cara Mia and Luce Mia. Okay, am I the only one? Luce, or Lucy, should be the redhead. She's gorgeous. And I do understand what Stitcherista says. She wants to change the colors, and I look forward to her color conversion. I've toyed with the idea. I like the green, but I'm wondering if maybe just the, I should just change the ribbons. Maybe that's what I'll do. But yeah, I just think she should be the redhead. Lucy, just saying. And yeah, these went against me. Iris. She's so pretty. And Siren and the Shipwreck. And if you have not seen Mary KDOR on Facebook, her conversion, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing her conversion. It is just, she does it in oranges and golds, and it's beautiful, absolutely amazing. Mary has an amazing eye for color. I also want to encourage you all to look at a Casas Annina website. Last year in August, can't remember the exact day, Italy was hit by some really bad earthquakes. And so designers have gotten together and made designs exclusive to Casas Annina. They're all 10 euros, which is roughly 12 American. And it's all PDF, so you would order it and then they send you an email that you can download and print it off. Some of the designers that have contributed are Bothy Threads, Hands on Design, Little House Needlework, Joan Elliott, Waxing Moon Designs, Shepherd's Bush, I think maybe Country Cottage Needlework, maybe. And some that I've never heard of, but their designs are absolutely amazing. And the idea between them doing it with these different designers was, you know, if you like the prim style, there's a pattern there for you. If you like this style, there's a pattern there for you. And there's this one from Nora. Some people have stitched this on Facebook and it looks amazing. It looks like a fountain, like she's holding some kind of bowl dish and it's a fountain. Someone, I don't know if they added beads or not. I haven't looked at the pattern close enough to know if the beads are actually there. And then they have a green garland, so kind of that marble color. And all of the proceeds from the sale of this goes to a relief organization in Italy, for now that the immediate needs have been taken care of medically and everything. They're rebuilding, to rebuild the infrastructure and the communities and stuff. I received an email last week that they have raised over 13,000 euros. So I encourage you to go check out those designs. There's another couple I'm looking at possibly purchasing, because, you know, stash money going to that kind of thing works just fine for me. And I purchased this in July, so it came out of my July budget. But I don't know if you can see the sketch. I can't show you the pattern, obviously. But when you receive it, it will say, you know, for, like here it says for Diane, and my last name and my email. So if you do choose to buy these, print them off and stuff, use them with integrity. The designers aren't getting anything from it. They contributed their designs to it. Yeah, well-known designers, some that I'm not familiar with, but other people may be familiar with. Beautiful designs. There's a purple iris on there that is very tempting, and the shepherd's bush one is very tempting for me. So I encourage you to check it out, and I'll try and remember to put Casas Annina's link down here. If you go to their page, there's a little tab button that says XS to be born again, something to that effect, and then it'll list all the patterns. And they might be continually adding patterns by different designers. I don't know, but I encourage you to go check it out if you're so inclined. And then again, they'll send you, you'll pay for it. And when I tried it the first time, PayPal had a hiccup of some kind and I wasn't able to get it, but when I tried it again a few days later, no problem. And then they'll send you an email and say, here's the link so you can download and print it off and save it to your laptop. Or you want to definitely save the pattern to something electronically in your home, and then you can also print it off for yourself. This particular one by Nora has like 11 or 12 skeins, or excuse me, different colors, some multiple skeins, and then 3 beads, 3 different beads. But it's kind of that marble look with a green garland going around it. So I think this needs to be, it can't be on a fat 8 that has been a fat quarter. I was toying with the idea of doing the blue one, I think, that I showed you, the fabrics by LJ. Speaking of fabric, yes, I did order the Lady of Mystery, and I ordered a couple pieces of fabric from Fiberlicious to stitch Lady of Mystery on. I'll have to show those. So that's why I'm over. Yeah, I went over. But what am I going to stitch on? When I'm done with the round robin, I had hoped to have this one done by the end of the month. It's not going to be done. Queen Anne's lace. This is my color conversion. So her skirt is mostly done. There are a couple different ways I'm thinking of going with this colorway, but I want to finish her up. So yeah, I can have it done, and it could be counted toward my 8 main goals for 2017. I'm also in September going to work on, well, I'm going to start, I will probably start Renaissance Mermaid. Probably will start her because I have everything for her. I don't have the beads, but I have everything else. And I bead last anyway. This is the fabric I'm a stitcher on. Fiberlicious. A-U-R-A. This is 32 count Belfast. A-U-R-A is the color. And on the website it doesn't show this purple. It's more blue, but it's beautiful. So I originally ordered it for Andromeda, but then Andromeda can fit on a fat 8th. So I thought, oh, she'll vanish on this piece of fabric. So that's what I'm going to stitch Renaissance Mermaid on. I just bought it a little early. That's all. So I think that's all I have. I did want to do a shout out to a floss tuber that I found and really enjoyed. Called her name's Diane. I like her name. Lucky Gardenia, and I'll try and remember to put a link for her below. Yeah, she's really, I like her. And there was another new one I found, and I'm blanking on who it is. But yeah, we can show Lucky Gardenia some love and check out her channel. And I've been able to check out the silver stitcher, the silver haired stitcher. Although when I tried to find her, it took a little bit for me to, I don't know why, just a whole bunch of things came up when I typed it in. But yeah, she's pretty enjoyable too. So just wanted to throw out an idea for another floss tuber you can all check out. And so in September, there's another project I'll be working on, another color conversion I'm working on. I'm trying to work on blue fabric and or with blue thread, because the sapphire aspect, I think that's in the Stitching Station event, and yeah, I think it's in that group. So I'm stitching on things with blue that are on blue in the name. So Renaissance Mermaid qualifies, my conversion of Queen Anne's lace qualifies, my other conversion qualifies because they're all stitched on blue fabric. So we'll see how far I get. I don't know. I mean, we've been homeschooling, trying to get into the routine again. Every year I make changes, so we always have to kind of find the new normal. Mini Dot's doing well. He will be a year old in October. He's almost 22 pounds, so he's a chunk. He still eats like you would not believe. And I'm thinking, really? And he chipped his tooth. Yeah, he chipped a tooth. How many times your babies bump their mouth and it's not a big deal, but he chipped a tooth. The dentist said it looks fine, no infection. So when he nurses, it gets kind of interesting. Let's just put it that way. There's something else I was going to say too, but whatever. My mind is like shutting down. This cold is kind of throwing me. I'm on the edge of it, but it. Go away. So, thank you for watching and hearing me babble. I thank you for commenting and thumbs up, and totally agree with Pam and Steph. They get thumbs down on their videos, and then they had some issues, technical issues, and they said, oh, it just couldn't handle our personalities. I've met Pam. I know I met Pam in Cincinnati at the Mirror Retreat. Stephanie wasn't there. I know I met Pam. I don't remember what we talked about, but I know I met her. But yeah, if you're not checking out Just Keep Stitching, go check them out. But, and of course Yanni, her work's amazing. Absolutely amazing. But I encourage you to show love in the community, and your thumbs up, and support small businesses when you can, and just have our community be unique. And I encourage you to go check out Casas Annina and see if any of these patterns appeal to you. Again, they're roughly 12 US dollars. They're 10 euros. I have no clue on any other currency or beyond that. They're PDFs, so they're not going to be mailed to you. They will be emailed to you. But I encourage you to go check them out. There's probably a pattern there that you'd like, and it goes definitely towards a good cause. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.